Hi, how are ya? 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 This is Chief Little Prong, and I just made some brief notes here about the moon landing. Some strange things. I really don't think we went to the moon for a lot of reasons. To beat the Russians in the space race, kind of a distraction from the war, and plus Kennedy said we were going to do it, so we had to do it. And among other reasons, such as NASA, which stands for Not Another Space Adventure, it's probably a lot of that money was probably being funneled into the CIA and stuff like that. And I wrote a list here of a few things, and I'm going to try to keep it fairly brief. But these are just some strange questions that even a lot of my friends and relatives think I'm a nut. But when I ask some of these questions, they go, "Oh, that is, I don't know what that. I can't explain that." These are in no particular order. Okay, let's start off. I don't know the guy's first name, but the creator of the Learjet, I'm sure you've heard of Learjet. His son said that, and he's pretty smart. I think he's college degreed. He's holds all kinds of aeronautical records and stuff. He says never happened. The president of Hasselbrand, I'm probably not pronouncing that right, Hasselbrand cameras, the cameras that they took to the moon and took the still shots with, he was analyzing the photos and just said, these just look weird. The shadows are wrong. There's lots of other problems. I think I've got that down there later on this short list. Radiation. There's a thing called the Van Allen radiation belt. At the time of the launching, which was July of '69, the radiation belt was very severe. Now, when they're up at the space station, or perhaps a little higher, they were saying that because of radiation, they were seeing all kinds of spots, and the radiation was getting to them. And this is just like a few hundred miles, up in the atmosphere. Okay, there's no stars in any of the photos, because that would be too hard to mimic. In the press conference, which we'll get to, or maybe we'll just say something about that now, they were asked about the stars, and they were a little confused about if they saw stars or not. I don't think you remember if you saw stars or not when you were on the moon. And those guys were acting very strange, very strange. You should really watch the first press conference after the first Apollo moon landing in '69. And these guys are not acting like we just got back from the world's greatest event and we're really stoked. I mean, they act like they were testifying at some kind of gruesome murder trial or something. Back to the photos. Yeah, the shadows are wrong. There's no stars. There's these lines that they put on the photos in order to measure, they put on the lens, excuse me, to measure distances and whatnot. Well, some of those lines are behind different objects, which would be impossible unless the photos were doctored. And there's other things I could go on for half an hour just on the photos alone. Okay, Werner von Braun, who was a famous, fabulous Nazi war criminal responsible for countless deaths. He's the guy that made, or the main guy that basically invented and made the V1, V2 rockets, which were primarily killing, thousands of people on a daily basis in England and probably other countries, but for sure England. He said in order to have a rocket that could go to the moon, it would have to be, taller than the Empire State Building, and they were using basically the same rocket engines when they went to the moon. There was no accidents, and all the stuff they did, the landings, the takeoffs, not a single accident. And on top of that, no one ever died of radiation poisoning or got sick or anything like that. Let's see, no crater. Oh, when you see pictures of the module, the landing module, whatever it's called, the LIM, there's no crater below it from when it landed. There's no dust on any of the landing legs, which is very strange. And when they filmed this thing, I remember I was in school actually, and they took us into an auditorium, and we were watching this going on, live. And even as like an 8-year-old kid, I'm thinking, why is this filmed in, black and white? They've had color films since like 1935 or something. But they filmed it in grainy, horrible, black and white, kind of like these Sasquatch pictures that you see that, is really blurry, and it could be anything. It could be a blob of moss, a guy in a monkey suit jumping up and down, that kind of stuff. Okay, we covered the press conference. There's like 180 missing rocks from the moon landing. We gave them to all kinds of different countries, all different states. Something that valuable. It just seems kind of strange that they're unaccounted for. A whole bunch of them were stolen at one time right out of either the Smithsonian or the space agency itself, which is a little strange that they're not keeping a better eye on them. One of them turned out to be the one that they gave to, I can't remember which country it was, but they just started to analyze it. It was petrified wood. So that seems a little strange. That happened kind of recently. Another thing that happened pretty recently was they announced they lost all the telemetry data. Or most of it. Now this is like the most important event in mankind, and they erased over some of it, and then some of it, I'd heard some of it was stored in like a closed down McDonald's or something, and it just got burned up or just thrown away, which is kind of strange. NASA, right now, if you ask them about going to the moon, they said, oh, we can't go now, we've lost all that technology. You think like 50 years down the road, our technology would be tremendously advanced and we could go there at the drop of a hat, but apparently not. So this is, like I said, I didn't want to go on and on about this, but these are some things that are kind of strange. I think at the very least photos are phony. Perhaps they had one guy, because we might have made several attempts to go up there and rockets didn't make it and we didn't want to look stupid. We might have sent one guy that was already dying of cancer or something to go up there and stomp around. Because there are some, oh God, I can't remember what they're really called. Some sort of reflecting device or a laser device that proves that someone was there. Or perhaps we even, at that time, could have had something unmanned robot or something. Because remember, they had quite a few years to do this. I mean, they probably realized that we couldn't go and had to figure out a way to make it look like we went. So they might have marched those guys up to the ship and they went in and went right back out. And they might have already had somebody up there. I'm not really sure. Or perhaps they just sent that up with nobody in it because other countries were tracking it. But there's a lot of people, I mean, much smarter than me, with advanced college degrees, plenty of them that say, there's just too many things that don't add up. So, anyway, that's my take on it. I really don't think that, I really don't think we win. I still don't think we can go. For that and many other reasons. But like I said, I'm trying to keep this relatively short. And it's just something to think about. And there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that you can focus on. Just the photos or what this guy Lear, his son of John Lear, I think was his name, has to say about it, and a lot of other people. And the reaction of people. I mean, I think people are getting smarter, starting like the Kennedy assassination. I'm going to do one on that too, because there's a lot of weird things about that. But I think people are starting to realize that the government doesn't always tell the truth or have our best interests in mind. They're mostly concerned about control, controlling you, and getting money from you. I mean, it's basically what it's all about. So a lot of people don't seem to realize that, and they vote for higher taxes and more control, thinking they're going to have a better life. And the government just gets more and more and more invasive. A lot of people are seeing that right now with the, you're not supposed to say anything, I guess. Well, the thing that's going on right now in May throughout the world, and, they're stopping people from doing stuff. They're really reaching beyond their bounds of allowing you to make your own choices. So anyway, I'm going to get off track here, but that's my take on it. So have a good day. It's Chief Little Prong signing out, and to all my subscribers, I think I have 4. I thank you for your support, and if you have any comments, which no one ever has, leave them below. I'd like to respond to them, or at least read them, and get someone else's take on it. So have a good day. It's May, I think it's 21st or 22nd. But have a good day.